world of American angler, you're up with the sun, with a fish on your line, your day's just begun. The world of American angler, on lakes and on streams, now you're living the good life, catch the one of your dreams.
Hi, I'm Pat Traynor. Welcome to the American Angler. This week we're flying into Mazatlan, Mexico, where we'll take a 2-hour drive inland to Ron Speed's fish camp on beautiful Lake El Salto. Lake El Salto is a new lake that's only been open to fishing since February of 1990. We're here in late February and we'll be hoping to find the big females up to spawn. The lake record at Speed's Lodge is about 12 pounds, although fish have been recorded by the Fish and Game Department in excess of 17 pounds. El Salto's flooded shorelines of timber and brush offer good water for spinnerbaits, worms, and surface lures. Because of this cover, we'll be fishing with very heavy tackle. This lake is a trophy lake where in any day's fishing you stand a good chance of catching that fish of a lifetime. Today I'll be fishing with a good friend of mine from Phoenix, Brad Hoffman. Brad is an energetic young tournament fisherman who lives and breathes fishing. You're going to like this young man. So don't go away. We'll be right back from El Salto. Big rods, big line, and hopefully some big Mexico bass. You know, this is supposed to be the prime time to be down on this lake, Brad. When we were at Comandero, which is only about an hour and a half from this lake last fall with Ken Cook, we just caught huge numbers of 4 and 5 pound fish. And we talked to Ron about this lake, and it has a reputation of just producing some gorilla bass. 12, 14, 15 pound fish, but you have to work for those fish. There's a lot of little fish in the 1.5 to 2 pound range. But to try to call through those fish, I think we stick with these larger baits this morning. We may not get quite as many bites. In fact, we may not get any at all, but I got a sneaky feeling that the quality of what bites we get are gonna be really big fish, and that's what we're here for, right?
That's what we want to catch. Started out with gitsits and those sluggo imitations, but we just seem to catch all the small fish on those baits, so we may need to move a little slower maybe to catch the bigger bass.
Well, I think if we can find some beds today, if we can locate some beds, I still think that the smaller baits, if we're gonna try to pluck them off the beds, will work real well. But when you can't see those fish and you got to weed through so many little ones, I think our chances of catching a big fish out here in this water that's a little more stained would be better with these larger baits. In fact, we might want to try a crankbait here in a minute and just to see if we can't produce a little bit better bite with that crankbait. I think we'll use a big crankbait too. I brought some 15 pluses and some big Bagley baits.
That might be the key. There's so much cover in this lake though, it's hard to throw anything that isn't pretty much weedless. If we get into some of that little bit open water, we can throw our crankbaits.
Well, I think if we can run it down beside these trees out in front. These fish may be staging. They may not be in tight to this cover yet. They may be laying on the outside of it.
How you been working your spinnerbait, Pat?
Well, I've been trying a little bit of everything. They didn't seem to want to come and get it this morning, so we've just been crawling around. But I'm basically I've got a long rod here and real heavy line, and I'm pulling the bait just enough to feel that big number 8 blade throb just a little. Then I just catch up the slack, pull it again. But almost every big fish I've ever caught on a spinnerbait, you don't really get that real hard thump when you're slow rolling that you can get when you're running it real hard or buzzing it. You just feel that blade go dead. It's just not turning anymore. That's about all you'll ever feel off a real big fish. And boy, when you feel that, it's time to set down on him.
I'm ready to.
A spinnerbait is a bait that I've thrown an awful lot, and it's one of the few baits that I've thrown it so much that I don't really have to think about setting a hook. My mind just knows when that bait is not doing what it's supposed to do, and I just set on it automatically. We're starting to get a little breeze up now. I think these fish will start to move around a little bit. We're getting a little riffle on the water.
It's been so calm. It's hard to throw any bait.
It's been too calm.
Yeah.
Really have. Boy, you couldn't ask for a prettier day to be on the water, though.
That's right.
It's not bad for February, is it?
Sure isn't. Must be about 70 degrees already.
This water has so much plankton in it and algae blooms. You know, these fish may start tightening up about noon today.
Yeah, we may catch one or two around then. We may catch one or two about now.
About now?
Yeah. There's a good fish now, boys.
All right! Boy, he smacked that spinnerbait now.
Good bass, Pat.
Now we're cooking. That fish is spawned. Look how lean he is.
Yeah. Already done.
Nice fish. You know, I understand from talking with Ron that this lake's only been here about 5 years now. They stocked it pretty heavily when they first impounded it, but then the spawns weren't very good the first couple of years. And consequently, I think that's why we've got so many little fish and then just those great big gorillas. There's not a lot of fish in the 4 to 5 pound range in this lake. Oh, I got bit. There he came back on it. Come on, baby, come out of there. I thought that was it. Come on, Brad, get one. You've been quiet long enough.
I'm trying.
Looks like a good place to catch one, Brad. I hope maybe these El Salto fish maybe are going to church this morning. I understand that old church there's about 300 years old.
Well, I hope they're in there.
Do you remember the name of the town they call this thing?
No, I'm sure our guide Hector would tell us. Honitaka.
It sounds like an old girlfriend. Gonna have bird for breakfast.
Golly. There's too many small bass in here. Can't get this big bait in their mouth. It's not that I'm missing them. I'm not fishing for small fish, so I just kind of let them go. I'm down here trying to catch big bass.
These fish seem to be setting up, staging on the outside of this stuff. We've thrown a lot of baits right in it. We can't seem to get bit.
We haven't been bit in about a half hour, but
there's a pretty good opening right in here. Boy, isn't this a beautiful place to fish.
Good looking scenery. All the birds.
It's hard to concentrate on the fish for looking around.
Yeah.
This thing has got some monsters in it.
That's what I hear.
So quiet out here today. We may have to go to really slow, you know? They just don't seem to want to chase anything.
No, working my spinnerbait pretty slow, but like I said, we ain't been bit in quite a while.
Found a big limb down in there.
Yeah.
There's one right there. Get in.
I got him.
Oh, that's a big fish. That's a big fish.
One. Okay, we might need the net for this one.
Nah, we'll get him with our hands.
All right.
Just, you got him whipped. Just stay with him, Brad. Stay with him. Stay with him. Stay with him.
Here we go, big boy.
Wrong side of the boat, big boy.
Oh, big bass.
Big bass.
Look at that
about a
bad
9.
boy.
You gonna put the scale on him and see what he'll do?
Let's put him on the scale. Whew, Look at what he did to that spinnerbait.
Let me grab the scale. Let's see what he'll do.
Look at that, switchblade spinnerbait. Pretty big bass there. Put him on the scale, see what he goes.
Hook him on the backside. Got to put weight on it before you turn it on, don't you?
No, you have to turn it on before you put weight on it.
Got him?
Well,
that'll hold him.
8 pounds.
Is that all the bigger he is?
715.
715, 17, 714. Boy, you looked a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah,
nice fish, nice fish.
Pretty good bass. Let's let him go so he can come back another day. Thank you, big bass.
That was a great fish. She's still strong.
There she
goes. All right, let's get another one.
El Salto bass.
Now don't go away. We'll be right back from beautiful Lake El Salto. Wait a minute, I just got bit. He dropped that bait. He's fooling with it. There he is again. Dropped it again. This fish on the bed. There he is. He's in that tree.
That's a better bass. There he is, he's out, he's out.
Good bass, good bass.
Get him up here. Need a little help?
All right. All right.
Nice Florida bass there. All righty.
That fish sucked it in, blew it out, sucked it in again, and he bit at it about 3 or 4 times. And every time I put a little pressure against him,
he'd let it go.
Then he'd turn it loose.
Yeah.
That fish spawned out.
Yep.
See it?
Spawned out belly.
Spawned out. Frisky, boy, they're strong. There you go, sweetheart.
Good fish. Hit us a couple
That was
more.
a strange bite now.
Uh-oh. There we go, there we go.
2-pounder. Was one under there, huh?
Yep.
Wasn't a 9 though.
These fish are wild, these little Florida bass. Open your mouth. Thank you. And I'll let you go.
Was he at the base of the tree or out away from it?
Basically right there at the base.
That fish come up and got it.
Yep. Fish seem to move down a little deeper, I don't know. There's one got mine right now. He's got me in a one. Here we go. It's not a bad bass.
What you got?
Got me a El Salto, Florida bass.
That's a nice fish.
A little chunk there.
Boy, he's a stocky fish. That fish followed that worm up, didn't he?
This fish been hit by a prop or something into his tail. He's got a couple scars on him.
There he goes.
There he goes.
Come right out of that bush. You were picking your worm up out of there and he come right up there and got it.
I'll take it.
Nice fish.
Pretty good bass. Bring him over here. Come here, big boy. There we go.
All right.
It's another good
Is that what
fish.
it's about?
That's what it's all about.
That
there.
fish is not spawned. There's one that hasn't. Or has he?
No, it looks like he has. He might be getting some more eggs though to spawn again.
Boy, that was a light bite.
Yeah. Just a
Light
pressure
bite.
bite. It's a good fish.
Thought he was going to come off on me there for a minute.
This thick brush, they tangle you right up in a hurry. That's for sure.
He was away from that tree. About 5 foot out in front of it.
Huh.
Probably could be a nest right there.
There's one right there.
Good fish, good fish. Stay with him. All right. Nice hefty 4-pounder. That'll work.
That'll work.
Now we need that gorilla.
Need that big bass now.
Where was he at, Brad?
He was right out there in the middle. I felt the little brush on the bottom and then he picked it up. It's a pretty good bass again.
There's 2 right there together. There's another one. It's a good fish.
Oh, Jesus. It's a nice fish.
It's got me in that tree. All right, come out.
There, come out. He's not as good as you'd think, though. Traynor and his good fish.
Well, he had me pinned.
He had you pinned, huh?
Good fish.
That's a nice bass. That's another 4. The folks out home just can't tell. It was the angle.
We got a little something going right here.
You just caught a little.
Yep, there he is. Got me in a tree. He's still on. You little. He jumped my line 6 feet there. What do you got me over here in the trash for?
Well, I got you
What
in
are you
the,
trying to? You putting me at a disadvantage?
I've got you in the used water.
What do you got? What do you got?
I got a fish.
Ah, gorilla.
Look at the size of that killer. Ate that big power worm too. Go home and tell your mama I'm looking for her.
We had one of those 4-pounders out there in this open water a while ago.
We got a couple of them.
I wonder if there's another one swimming out here.
That's where you had that big fish follow you this morning, right there. She's mine. All mine.
I think it was a little more to your left.
Huh? No, this is the tree you pitched into right there.
Water wasn't quite this deep. We got?
I got the toad.
What do we got here? We got a mean one.
An ornery fish.
Mean one.
Come over here, big girl. I just want to touch you for a minute here. There we go.
All right. 5-pounder.
Good bass. Ooh, good hook set. I had
The
her
head on that
stuck
fish.
now.
Big old girl.
Big head on them Floridas. Big head.
Pretty fish, Brad. Pretty fish.
Good bass.
Nice going.
Good fish.
Now it's my turn.
It's your turn. It's
my turn.
Actually, that one was your turn, I think.
You've been front-ending me all day.
I skipped you. I skipped you.
The sun. The fun. The romance. The excitement. The parties. The El Cid Mega Resort. 1-800-525-1925.
Well, we've had an awful good day anyway.
A lot of 4s and 5s today.
Well, Brad, we better make this our last cast. It's getting pretty late. We've had a great day on a great lake. You caught the biggest fish you've ever caught in your life, didn't you?
That's right. 8-pound bass.
It was a beautiful fish. We've had 5-6 fish in the 4 to 5 pound range. But there's a lot of huge bass in this lake. A lot of heavy cover in it. If you come to El Salto, flipping stick, 30-pound line, big hooks, a lot of plastic. Fish bite spinnerbaits pretty good early. We couldn't get them going on the spinnerbait other than that one big fish you caught, and you did catch early on the spinnerbait. But it's just a super lake to fish. But when you come here, you need to be prepared to spend a lot of time in and around this heavy brush, because I got a feeling that's where those big ones are going to be most of the time. It's a super lake. It's 5 years old. It's going to produce a lot of bigger fish on down the line. The limit here, you can only keep one fish over 7 pounds,
Over 7 pounds
per day.
person per day.
And we've had, what, 4 or 5 guys we've talked to since we've been here that have caught fish over 10 pounds this week. So the fish are in here. It's a great place to come and catch that fish of a lifetime. And we'll see you next week on our next episode of The American Angler.